And it's Ken Kraetzer in New York City today for Talking Business. We're at the Digital Advertising Alliance Summit, great gathering of privacy experts, and have a chance to talk with my friend Chet Dalzell, who's with the Digital Advertising Alliance. And Chet, great meeting. What stood out for you today?
Well, we are in a process in the digital advertising community of going through a better way to provide consumer transparency about how information is used to serve an ad to the consumer. And that bit of knowledge is best handled through our icon, which is right over my shoulder. And that icon is delivered 1.5 trillion times every month to consumers all over the world to give online, on time, in-ad transparency about why that ad was served to them. And why is that important? Because not only does it explain why the ad was, how data was collected to serve that ad, but it also explains what consumers do about it. There's an opportunity to control that data collection for advertising purposes. And this year, we are meeting to talk about a cookies and beyond world. Cookies have been an identifier technology that's been in place at least 15 years. And now that cookies are being deprecated to other types of identity technologies are in play in targeted advertising. And we want the consumers to know what those technologies are. And just like the cookies before them, they have an opportunity to control that data. And that's what our program does. There's no legislation requiring this. This is something that businesses have just been doing because it's the right thing to do ethically and keeping that connection with the consumer.
Well, it's such an important service that's being provided to the public so that they can differentiate the advertising they'd like to receive from that they may not want to receive. Well, tell us a little bit about the history and how the program has evolved.
Well, the history of the program, it started in 2009, and over the past 15 years, we've had different countries around the world become involved in the program. We're now in 37 nations, 28 languages. We also have adapted our choice tools for the consumer. Used to just be a cookie-based. Now you can opt out based on cookies, based on probabilistic IDs, based on mobile ad IDs, based on hashed emails, hashed phone numbers, and whatever is the next big identity technology that may be in play. We're also bringing that choice to the browser level. What does that mean? That means when you're on a particular browser, your signal is honored no matter where you go on that browser, from site to site. Whether it's a mobile version of the site or a desktop version, doesn't matter. What matters is that the consumer's preferences for data controls for advertising are being honored.
And so, of course, Chet is the president of the Marketing Club of New York, a nearly 100-year-old marketing trade group in New York City. And Chet, one of the topics, and we hear this at quite a few of the privacy-oriented meetings, is a need for a national privacy law. Right now, privacy is regulated haphazardly by a patchwork of state regulations. Why would a national privacy law really help both business and consumers?
Well, I'm going to talk about a national law in a minute, but I do want consumers and your viewers to know that the United States has not been asleep for 50 years on privacy. Since 1974, there's been the Privacy Act. In the financial services area, there's been the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act. In the credit, there's been the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So what I'm basically and there's some other examples of that. My basis is saying there's been a sectoral approach to privacy legislation in our country. But we've not had a law that's omnibus like Europe has the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation. So the move afoot in states is try to come up with GDPR-like laws for their jurisdiction because Congress hasn't acted. We've had attempts at an omnibus federal bill, but this year there might be a window of opportunity to get a federal bill through because what businesses in the United States, whether they're big businesses or entrepreneurs, can't live with is a patchwork that you just described of 17, 18, 19, 20 laws from different states, all that may have some common themes, but lots of their own variations. That's expensive, it's unwieldy, it doesn't serve the consumer, and frankly, and really a lot of these laws don't even get to the heart of, as they regulate advertising, to the very essence of what our program does. Why did I get this ad, and what can I do about it?
Hey, one thought came up from Lewis Borg of Unilever, who's actually a native of the UK, about the need, the association of privacy and AI. And if you want to regulate AI, which seems to be have a lot of energy behind it, you really need to have a privacy law and a standard because everything in AI works off of data. That was a good point you brought up.
Yes. Basically, what the tipping point I think of AI is not the algorithms that we've been using for years that are based on machine learning and artificial intelligence, but the latest in generative AI, ChatGPT and other types of AI open source technologies that are now commonly used for creative manipulating images or manipulating video. That has certainly gotten people, I think, a scare factor to some extent, but it's brought AI to the forward. But let me be rest assured, AI has been being used in our field for years for predictive behaviors, predictive modeling, trying to understand what a consumer wants and how best to deliver what she wants. That's AI at work as well. And it's been governed by data, what you've already said. It's all governed by data and having data governance principles. So seeing AI now push the privacy issue on a federal level is a good thing because we're going to get to a federal law. And I think that federal law will be one that gives a uniform national standard, which is absolutely necessary to help businesses have common rules of the road.
And we had our friend Sheila Kolkasher of Interpublic here, one of the world's experts on privacy. So great to talk with her over the years. But she talked in her remarks about the growth of streaming video, 15 to 20% growth annually now for the next couple of years, expected going to be a $40 billion business. Streaming certainly a big part of internet and digital marketing today.
Yes, one thing that's happening with streaming, consumers can't afford all these premium subscription packages. What's happening? The big streamers are offering ad finance models that are free to the consumer. Ad financing on streaming is like direct mail in TV. You're able to now programmatically target your audiences based on their viewing habits, but doing so in a responsible way, with transparency, with controls. And again, that's our ad choices icon at work in the CTV environment. We're very close to releasing some new guidance creatively on how to deliver the icon experience in a CTV environment.
Hey, got to ask, on your international panel today, you had our friend Mary Tehan, who's a native of Michigan, now has lived most of her career in Argentina, and gave an update there. A big advocate for the awards program. Tell me the award program you work on.
Oh, the International Echo Awards.
Exactly.
Right. Mary is part of the effort to make sure the Echo Awards, which celebrate data, hard at work, accountable communications to the consumer, hard at work to affect, traffic leads, direct sales, traffic generation. This is probably my favorite advertising competition in the world. Why? Because it matters to the business objectives that companies have. It matters to the C-suite. The Echoes, while it's great to have creative celebrated, it's also great to have business results celebrated. And so I'm really happy that the International Echoes are moving forward with the competition this year. And the Marketing Club of New York is going to be very supportive of that.
Absolutely. Chet Dalzell, tell us about your role at the Digital Advertising Alliance.
I work on operations and communications, and sort of like we're a small group. Even though that's a big it's the little icon that is very powerful around the world. We're just a group of 4 or 5 people and a few consultants that help bring that program to fruition around the world.
And you got international impact, helping consumers and businesses. You got any upcoming events balance of the year?
Well, our summit is our once-a-year event. Our next event for the summit will be in Washington, D.C. next spring, and that'll include a Hill visit, which we're very excited about. We have to keep telling this story to lawmakers, how we use data responsibly and why that needs to be protected and encouraged by policy.
Absolutely. I learned how to do Capitol Hill Days from the Direct Marketing Association, which is one of the industry trade groups many of us participated in for years and years. Chet Dalzell, great to see you here. Great job with your summit for the Digital Advertising Alliance.
Thanks, Ken, and keep looking for the icon, everyone.
Okay, Chet Dalzell, of course, is the president of the Marketing Club of New York. And this is Ken Kraetzer in New York City for Talking Business. Thanks for watching.